In this video, I'm just going to give you a quick tour of automated client acquisition. We are not going to dive into the specifics right now. I just want to show you what's possible and why this is the only tool you need for organic outreach and organic content so that you can generate leads and start selling stuff. So first of all, we are going to see the content farming mechanism. So it uses different blueprints. So basically blueprints allow you to decide of a content pipeline. So there are different types: rich article, social media post, images, generative one shot. So that's VO 3.1, video scripts, and Instagram carousels. You can enter a prompt and then you can use different library elements as variables. And also you can decide on different settings like carousel settings and stuff. Each of those pipelines have their specifics. Where it gets really interesting is that we can reuse library assets over and over again. So we have different brands, characters, products, target audience, blocks, strategy, and knowledge base. So that when we create content, we select a blueprint, we select the format, we select different IDs, and then if within the prompt we've requested to enter or to choose different library elements, we'll be requested to choose them in the next step. And when we generate the content, it produces the content in bulk. So if I show you a job here, you see I've selected 5 different IDs and it created 5 different carousels with the captions and stuff. And that's basically ready to publish. If I select a few of those IDs, push to GHR, select an account, select peak time and schedule all, this is going to post the stuff on all of those accounts on a smart schedule. If there is something I like here, for instance, carousels, I can save them. And this is going to go into saved content, where we can save text, images, videos, and audios. And we can reuse them over and over again. So that's quite convenient. Now I'm going to show you one of the most interesting features of all. And this is autopilot. So it basically uses the blueprints, the assets, and the IDs, combines everything into a content mix, and publishes everything on your behalf. When it runs out of IDs, it basically recycles the different IDs, it puts them back into the pool, and then it creates whatever you've decided. So it can create a slight variation or regenerate the post entirely so that you never run out of content. Here we have the publishing queue, so that's pretty straightforward. It just shows you what you've been publishing. Next, we have a normal inbox. This inbox is really quite interesting, or here we have a message. So we're basically have toggled on an AI agent. The AI agent checks for replies and then drafts the reply, which we can then approve, or we can run it to run the conversation on our behalf entirely. If this is toggled off, require approval, this is going to basically just run the conversation and try to reach the goal that we've defined inside the settings. It can also book appointments directly inside Go High Level. So really convenient. There are quite a lot of different functionalities inside the inbox, which are basically built out of frustrations from using different systems. One of them is that it combines email, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, and stuff, all inside a unified inbox. Here we have people, so people will need to dive a lot deeper into this one. For instance, we can add people using LinkedIn search bar, Search Navigator, LinkedIn Recruiter, LinkedIn Post, or import from CSV. But where it gets really interesting is the actions that we can actually perform using those lists. So for instance, we want to make sure that everyone we are going to contact can actually receive the emails, so we can check if they are behind a specific firewall. And then we can analyze the company. So you see here, this list is pretty bad. So the ICP, so basically the ICP is not quite matching the product that I'm trying to sell them. So it's all moderate. So I don't have great hope about this list. And here I can basically generate and send. So I can generate different sequences. Again, using variables. These variables, they can come from the assets library. That's why I'm saying that the assets library is really interesting, because we can reuse it over and over throughout the whole system. We can use product, we can use knowledge-based elements, we can decide which LLM model to use. And here where it gets really interesting is that we can create a Notion page using different blueprints. So let's say I want to create complete playbook about whatever product it is that I've chosen here. And it's basically going to create a whole playbook that's going to be delivered inside the campaigns and inside the sequences. So that's how you usually get replies, because it shows that you've done the homework in a really high quality way. Next, I'm going to show you LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is also really interesting. I'm going to show you the whole lot now, but it's basically a sequence builder. So if you check the different actions here, so we can send connection requests. There is wait nodes. We can check if the connection has been accepted. And again, we can create Notion pages. We can check ICPs so that we can actually make sure that we are doing really high quality work for the right people. We'll dive into that a little bit later. Next, we have lead magnet. So lead magnet is basically the command to get strategy. So leads are captured when someone comments with your keyword for connected user. So a DM with your lead magnet is sent automatically, and for non-connected users, will reply to their comments asking to comment first. And once they are connected, they receive your direct message, and you can track all your contacts inside the lists here. So it's basically super powerful, because it's if someone comments with the keyword under one of your posts, which obviously you've generated automatically, it is a warm intent, so that you can start talking to these people, and you can even let the AI agent to do all of the talking for you if you decide to run it this way. I prefer to have it draft, so that you can validate and you make sure that you don't burn leads because the AI was talking shit. Next, we have email campaigns. So you can connect your inboxes directly from Zapmail. So you provide your API keys inside the API key settings, or you can import from CSV. And this is basically going to import all of your inboxes all in one go. So that's really interesting. And again, it works like any cold emailing system. You can edit the signature in bulk or edit the different settings. Anyway, I'm not going to explain that. This is pretty straightforward. Inside the sequences, we have a lot of different stuff, but it is again really straightforward. And it is even more straightforward when Claude MCP creates all of those campaigns for you. I didn't create any of those. Claude created them and pushed them into the system on my behalf automatically. So really cool, but it's basically using best-in-class capabilities. So obviously you can select accounts, you can have different stop conditions, you can set different follow-up rules. So the system detects automatically if someone is interested, or if a meeting is booked, or if this is out of office, etc. And then it can route them back into a sequence. For instance, if we detect out of office here, we can select an out of office follow-up, and we can say, okay, I want that to run 1 week after the 192. 1 week after we've received the out of office message, and this is going to run it automatically. Again, we have the autopilot so that when we create an AI agent, we can connect this AI agent to the campaign so that it can reply on our behalf. And again, we can draft the replies or we can have them to go out automatically. We can set different lead filtering, like if someone is unlikely to reply or if this is a hostile prospect, known as a hostile prospect within the database, we can skip this person or we can continue sending anyway. In terms of tracking, so you need to set your own tracking domain here. This is toggled off by default, open tracking and click tracking, just because for me, it doesn't make much sense anymore to track opens and click rates. What I measure is how many leads are going into the sequence and how many leads are coming out of the sequence with an appointment. And that's basically all that matters. The sending patterns here, so you can increase the limit if you want to. Deliverability, so again, these are best-in-class functionalities where you can use text only, you can match the provider, you can basically use the rotation, or you can use high% mode, you can limit the number of emails that are going out for a given domain, and you can have different ESP matching routes. Here we can set the A/B testing. So I've had a lot of chat about this one. And A/B testing, in my opinion, only works if it is like automated. So the system is auto-optimizing. So when you select a winning metric, like the reply rate, and you choose the sample size, it's automatically going to balance how many emails are going out from B or how many emails are going out from C. But it doesn't stop there. If I had a step, for instance, with an A/B test, see, often we see stuff where we have 50-50 and we only have 2. Here you can add as many as you like, up to 4. So you can write 4 different variations of the same message and see which one is working better. But you don't have to decide on that by yourself. You can let the system decide for you. Next, we have obviously compliance with the unsubscribe headers, unsubscribe link in footer, allow risky emails, so this is always toggled off. The different variable default, so that if we want a fallback to be used, so we can set that. Here we can obviously copy people, and here we can add different campaign tags. So that's it for the campaign. Next, I'm going to show you everything that it gets integrated with. So I'm not going to go into details in regards to account, team organization, etc. I'll talk about branding in a minute. So here you'll go to integrations, add your API key, service provider. So make sure that you connect Open Router, replicate. You can connect 11 labs if you're going to create different videos with voices and stuff. And here you can connect with API, YouTube API for scraping, lead connector, that's to connect your Go high level, basically the calendar to push leads and stuff. Unipile for multi-channel messaging, Apollo for contact enrichment, and Prospero too. The system uses waterfall process. So if you connect these two, it will check on Apollo first. If it doesn't find it, it will check on Prospero, and vice versa. I'll add more in the future. And for the email infrastructure, it connects to Zapmail. Next, you want to make sure that you have Cloud connected. So you'll create an API key. I'll talk about that in details in the future video, but it's basically connecting your cloud with the system so that you can go into cloud and you can get it to do stuff, which is going to be replicated inside automated client acquisition. And this is, in my opinion, it's revolutionary because You basically don't need the interface. You can run everything from Cloud. It has access to over 130 tools. So everything that you see in this sidebar here is basically replicated with all the details inside the MCP tools. So that makes it really interesting. Here we have different AI agents, so you can create different agents. You can obviously test those agents to see how they behave, and you can set different settings and stuff. They can get used and reused all over again. And yeah, that's basically a good overview of the system. Now I'm going to make a few videos to show you how to actually use everything. So I'll see you in the next one.